but one night still gives me chills. It was stormy, wind howling, rain slamming against the windows. Nights like that usually meant no guests coming or going. I was leaning on the desk, half distracted by my phone, when I noticed a man approaching the entrance. He walked through the first set of glass doors and stopped. There's a small entry space between two doors leading into the lobby. He just stood there staring inside, his eyes locked with mine for a moment. Then, without a word, he patted down his pockets awkwardly, turned around, and walked back out into the storm. Weird, but I'd worked there long enough not to question strange behavior. Maybe he forgot something in his car. I figured he already had a room. He didn't have any bags with him. But again, nothing unusual. A few minutes passed. Then, the front desk phone rang. The caller ID said it was an external number. I answered with the usual greeting. A calm male voice replied. He said he'd parked in the front lot and needed help bringing in his luggage. I explained I couldn't leave the front unattended, but if he pulled up to the door, I'd help him right away. He paused, then politely agreed and hung up. A little annoyed, I stepped around the desk and stood in the entryway, waiting. 5 minutes passed. Nothing. I opened the door and stuck my head outside. It was still pouring, but I could just make out the man again, standing across the parking lot, waving at me, motioning for me to come over. I got this horrible gut feeling. If he really needed help, why wouldn't he pull up to the front, out of the rain? Why would anyone want to drag their suitcase through a storm? I ignored him, shut the door, and went back to the desk. If he really needed help, he'd come to me properly. But almost immediately, he did. He rushed through both sets of doors. So fast he must have sprinted. His clothes were soaked and he was breathing hard. He stepped right up to the desk and, without skipping a beat, asked the exact same thing he did on the phone. Could I help him with his suitcase? Again, I told him to pull his car up to the front. This time, he said he already took the suitcase out and didn't want to get it wet again. That didn't make sense. His whole story was falling apart. I asked if he had a reservation, telling him I couldn't help unless he was checked in. Suddenly, he got angry, really angry. His tone shifted and he started demanding I help him first. I stood my ground and told him that if your bags are in the rain, that's your choice. If you're not checking in, I need you to leave. He glared at me, flipped me off, and stormed out. He never came back, never checked in. I told the morning crew what happened, and that was it. No one saw him again. That's when it hit me. He wasn't a guest. He was never a guest. Just some random man trying to lure me outside into the pouring rain in the dead of night.